Macall B. Polay warning: huge spoilers for Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf. If you aren't caught up on the series or the season, read at your own risk. After a slightly disappointing episode last week, Game of Thrones delivered a satisfying season finale that gave us everything we love about the series. The Dragon and the Wolf had everything we've come to expect from a Game of Thrones season finale: shocking deaths, Tyrion bickering with Cersei, and some partial nudity in the form of Jon Snow's bare butt. We get to see a lot of characters come together in King's Landing to watch a White set free from a chained box, and we finally see the Stark children working together to avenge their father's death in Winterfell. Here's our recap of The Dragon and the Wolf. View is one-page slides HBO, and it's one of the best scenes on the show in years, because it proves how good Tyrion is at being hand. Even though it would likely end with his death, Tyrion meets with Cersei alone in an attempt to make up for Jon Snow's stupidity. He basically begs her to have Zombie the Mountain kill him, but she won't give the order. He apologizes for the deaths of her children, Myrcella and Tommen, who he loved, and even apologizes for murdering their father, Tywin. Tyrion also realizes that Cersei's fear is because she's pregnant. She rubs her belly in front of him, causing him to figure it out. After their conversation, Cersei comes back and says she will help fight the dead, and will bring all of her men to Winterfell. Back in Dragonstone, Team Daenerys plans to sail for White Harbor and head to Winterfell. HBO: the writers made both the audience and Littlefinger think that Sansa and Arya were actually falling for his plan to create friction between them. Sansa, with the help of Littlefinger, arranges for Arya to answer for her crimes against Sansa. Instead, this is all a grand plan by Sansa, Arya, and Bran to execute Littlefinger for his many crimes that led to tragedy in the Stark family. Sansa reveals Littlefinger's murder of Jon and Lysa Arryn, and Bran confirms his betrayal of Ned and Catelyn Stark with his Thride Raven gift. Arya slits Littlefinger's throat with his own dagger, and viewers all over the world cheered. HBO: and she also threatens to kill him. And it was really convincing for a few seconds before he calls her bluff. Cersei sees Jaime planning the journey north with some of the Lannister soldiers. Cersei asks him what he is doing, and he says something very reasonable along the lines of planning how we are gonna fight thousands of those horrifying zombies we just saw. But she then reveals to him that she lied to Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Daenerys. She doesn't plan to help them fight the dead, and never planned to. She has the Iron Bank on her side, and has Euron in Essos getting some paid soldiers. But Cersei is a fool for thinking paid soldiers will protect her against dragons and zombies, and Jaime knows this. Jaime, perhaps inspired by his conversation with Brienne earlier in the episode in which she screams F loyalty at him, finally abandons his sister. It's about time, Jaime. The next we see him, riding a horse alone in the rain. HBO: Bran tells Sam the Thride Raven. And Sam, speaking for all of Westeros, says, "Oh, I don't know what that means." Bran briefly explains and begins to tell Sam how he has to tell Jon, who's on his way back to Winterfell, that his true parents are Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. Bran says his real name is Jon Snow. But Sam puts together the little, but very important, nugget of information that Gilly found in the High Septon's diary the last time we saw them. That's the revelation that Jon is actually not a bastard, because they were married, and Bran then witnesses the ceremony with his powers. Jon is the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. In an excruciating sequence, we see Jon and Daenerys hook up, the true weight of their actions unknown to either. They are technically aunt and nephew. As one incestuous relationship ends, another begins. Meanwhile, Tyrion broods in the hallway outside.